Yesterday, Oklahoma City Police began receiving several 911 calls regarding a shooting at the Foot Locker store at Penn Square Mall. Witnesses had stated two subjects had gotten into a verbal argument, which escalated into a physical altercation, and then one of the subjects pulled a gun, shooting the other subject before leaving the scene. When officers arrived at the scene, they were able to locate the victim who had been shot. IMSA transported the victim to a local hospital. Their most recent condition was listed as stable. Officers immediately began searching Penn Square Mall for the suspect. Citizens and employees of the mall were evacuated as the search began. The entire mall was locked down. The property, part of Northwest Expressway, was shut down, only allowing emergency vehicles in and out of the area. It took approximately 3 hours to search the entire building. Penn Square Mall is a very large venue, and this was a very chaotic situation. There were a large number of people there. The suspect's location was not known at the time, but at the completion of the search, the suspect was not located. Throughout a review of the security camera footage in the mall, we determined the suspect had actually left the building through a south exit door of the building. As the investigation continued, members of the Oklahoma City Police gang, criminal intelligence, and U.S. Marshals were able to identify the subject as Elizha Sanders. They were able to make contact with Mr. Sanders' father, and his father convinced him to contact police and turn himself in. And early this morning, Elizha Sanders was arrested in Moore, Oklahoma, by the members of the U.S. Marshals, Oklahoma City gang, and the Criminal Intelligence Unit. He was booked into the Oklahoma County Jail early this morning. This was a very chaotic situation at Penn Square Mall, a large venue with an extremely large number of people. The responding agencies and departments within the city did an outstanding job. Very quickly, police, fire, and IMSA personnel were able to set up unified command and work together to manage this incident. The Oklahoma City Office of Emergency Management also participated in this. Mall personnel, mall staff, and management worked very closely with the police department, were able to provide us with information, video footage, and help us to locate people who were still inside the stores. Several of the employees had sheltered in place as part of the protocol when an incident like this happens. To our knowledge, this is just an isolated incident between the individuals who were involved. We don't have anything to indicate that this was an active shooter with multiple targets. This was just believed to be an isolated incident between the individuals involved. Other agencies who responded to this, Embark with Oklahoma City, they responded providing transportation for people involved around the mall. They also provided a bus to keep people warm who had to stay at the scene. They weren't allowed to leave. American Red Cross responded to the scene, providing assistance to officers and first responders at the scene. And the media did a great job of staying in one location and providing information to the public to get help to the police, and we appreciate that. Any questions?
You said the gang unit was involved in the arrest. Can you confirm whether or not the actual shooting was gang-related?
No, I don't have any information that would indicate that this was a gang incident, and it's early on in the investigation, so I couldn't confirm or deny whether that's involved or not.
Are you able to tell us if the alleged shooter had that gun legally?
I don't have that information, but Penn Square Mall doesn't allow firearms on the property, so he did not have it in possession legally at Penn Square Mall.
Do you know what kind of gun that was?
I do not.
Can you talk about the relation between the suspect and victim? Did they know each other?
There may be a relationship there or an acquaintance, but I do not know what it is.
Can you tell us more about the victim?
I don't know anything about the victim. He's last listed in stable condition, but that's all I have at this time.
I heard something about some retaliation for a purse being stolen. Was there can you confirm any of that?
I do not know what the initial argument was about, and I don't have anything to confirm that.
You said you don't know anything about the relationship between the victim and the suspect. They're acquaintances, friends?
I do not know.
Are there plans for police to increase any sort of surveillance of these large shopping centers as the season continues?
So I know Penn Square Mall has additional security available today, and again, there was nothing in this incident to indicate that the mall was a target or that there was anything outside of an incident between the individuals involved.
What's the status of the mall right now? Do you know when, I mean, is any part of it closed? Is it all open?
I believe the mall has reopened today, and guest services will be able to assist anyone who may have left property there as they exited the mall last night. Contact guest services if you have left anything at the mall.
What about surveillance video?
I know there is surveillance video. The suspect is in custody at this point, so I don't know if that video is going to be released or when.
How long did your investigation take? Is it continuing? Is it completed at the mall?
So, sure, the investigation started almost immediately. We finished searching the mall and released the outer perimeter, the mall parking lot and Northwest Expressway at approximately, I think it was about 7:30 or so. And again, the investigation continued for several hours after that. The suspect wasn't taken into custody until early in the morning.
Will the suspect face any charges because he brought a gun into the mall besides the shooting?
Currently, he wasn't booked in on any additional charges besides the shooting.
Which
guys
is assault
said-
with a deadly weapon.
Yes.
I think the press release said the suspect's dad convinced him to turn himself in.
That's correct.
How did all that happen? I mean, can you talk at all about, and you may not be able to, but can you talk at all about how officers track down family members and how all those conversations went?
I don't have that information. I couldn't give that to you.
Can you
We
go
know
into
that-
further detail about that conversation that you had with the father and what he said to you guys in regards to his son?
I don't have any specifics about the conversation itself, just that he had convinced his son to turn himself in.
We know that this was not a mass shooting, but people at the time certainly thought it was. Are you able to say anything about how the public left the building? Did they do everything they needed to do to get out of harm's way?
Sure, the public did really well. Anytime something like that happens, you want to get to a place of safety as quickly as you can. And once we began searching for the suspect, we would escort or remove people from the building as we got to safe areas. Again, I say it, employees had sheltered in place, maybe some citizens also sheltered in place when the event occurred, and that's part of their protocol. So they were escorted as we got to each store, and they would be escorted out of the building once they were located.
Captain, can you touch again on the security of the mall right now and throughout the rest of the year and into the next year?
I don't have any specifics on their security practices right now. I know they have extra security today. Again, this incident seems to be an isolated incident. We don't have any information to believe that there's any elevated threat for the mall.
Captain,
So-
what was this like for responding officers who were responding to this scene and for so long were thinking this could be something even more serious than what it was? What was it like for officers they were helping people who were so scared?
So with that number of people, it's a very chaotic situation, and you have to stay on task and respond to the situation as you get there. You know, you've got to determine if you have a victim, render aid to the victim, get the victim evacuated from the scene, and then begin searching for the suspect. Very chaotic. It's very difficult to manage a situation like that. And when the public cooperates and exits the building, it follows instructions. Very, very helpful. We're very appreciative.
I know you mentioned yesterday your officers train for these types of situations.
Absolutely. We go through all kinds of training, and we talk about mass shootings and active threats. Again, this was not a mass shooting or an active threat. Some of the training is very similar, though. You look at a large venue like Penn Square Mall, so that training really lends itself to responding to this type of incident.
Some Fox 25 viewers are saying that they feel unsafe in these large shopping centers. What can you say to them if they are going out, things they could do?
So just be aware of your surroundings. Stay with your party if you have family with you, especially young children. Keep them together with you. Be aware of what's going on and what's the climate of the crowd that you're in. Are there people in arguments? Is something beginning to escalate? That would be a great time to distance yourself from that and notify authorities if you've seen something that's suspicious. But
I know you guys have seen the social media videos of the fight. Are you guys talking to the other, or the detectives talking to the other people who were involved in this fight? Because it looked like there were 5 or 6 people altogether.
I'm sure they're following up on all of the information that they have available to them right now, and it's only the day after, so it is still very early. And there was a large number of people there. We received a great deal of information from the public, and so there's a lot of information to follow up on.
Did this start inside or outside the Foot Locker, and how many shots were fired?
This started inside the Foot Locker. I couldn't tell you how many shots were fired. I believe the subject, the victim, was reported to have been shot twice, at least twice.
Did it spill out into the hallway? Because I know we heard a lot about the food court, but I know that's just the general location.
No, I don't know if the actual altercation made its way out into the mall, into the food court or not. I know it did start in the Foot Locker.
You said that you're not sure about surveillance video, but what about body cam? Would that be available for the arrest of the suspect?
So there probably is a great deal of body cam video. There were numerous officers who responded to this scene, and they would have all had body cam video running as they searched the mall. And again, it took several hours to do a complete search of the mall.
Is there any chance that video will be released today?
There would be no way to release that video that quickly. It would have to be reviewed and redacted under normal procedures. So if you have requests for body camera video, if you can give us specific guidelines to what you'd like to see, yes, we can get video released.
Do you know anything additional about the suspect, anything about his past, possible criminal history, anything along those lines?
I don't have that information at this time. Very good. Well, thank you.